Hi guys, welcome back to our video. So today we got replace the fork seal because the fork seal is broken, as you can see here. So at the same time we will replace all the fork fluid and stuff. So first off, we write down all the torque marking and then label the left right fork, so in case you get confused and reassemble them back wrongly. Before we start, we just need to soften everything. So we moved all the compression, rebound and preload to the softest. So now we remove the speed sensor, followed by the caliper bolt. So the caliper now is stuck in the rotor because of the imbalance thickness somewhere at the edge. So what we have to do is to take out the brake pad and then to remove out. We'll see this pin. We will need to pull out the pin. Okay, there's two pins, one on each side. And then we can pull out this pin. Okay, and this is the retention plate. Something like that. And from what we see, the caliper is pretty dirty. Probably we gotta wash it before we install it back. And the brake pads are quite new, quite fresh. We also removed the bracket, and then the speed sensor is out. So we just hang the caliper here because it's a rubber hose, so we don't want to overstretch it. This one is long enough to be placed on the ground, so it's fine. So what we gotta do now is to remove the pitch board. What we gotta do now is to remove this, loosen this pitch board, and then unscrew the axle out before we can take out the whole wheel. And then we use this front wheel removal tool using a 19mm bolt. Once the bolt is loosened, we don't take it out yet. So what we need to do now is to jack up the bike because we don't want the bike to fall forward. So just leave a bit until the wheel is free. Now we can pull out the bolt and then roll off the wheel. So we have rolled out the wheel, and then now it's time to remove the mudguard. As you can see, the inner fork is pretty dirty and there's a few rust spots that we need to remove later on. You can see that it's pretty dirty inside here as well. Now we got to release the top yoke, which is this part here. So we got to loosen it, and then we got to loosen this top cap as well. So the reason why we loosen the top cap before we take out the fork is because once you take out the fork, this part is really hard to clamp on unless you have a bench clamp. Shouldn't be too hard to break open. So after many tries, we stripped the bolt a little bit, so we went to buy this 24mm socket that fits nicely here. But because it's over torque, so we can't use this. So what we need to do is, so instead of using this ratchet, we are using this breaker bar. So we went back and took it, and then hopefully it breaks open. You can see the edge is a little bit stripped, and we still can't open it with the breaker bar. So what we gotta do is we gotta barbecue the top, hopefully expand, and then we can break open it. So we hit a roadblock, so basically we can't pull this out. So what we gotta do is we gotta put it back and then bring it to a shop, and then hopefully they can use I don't know, some power tools to make it out. So what we can do now is to clean the fork, which the shop doesn't do. So your fork usually will have all this internal corrosion part. We will be using sandpaper and then to sand it all out, like something like this. So we'll do this, assemble it back, wash the caliper, and then we'll bring it to the shop to get them to do the fork seal for us. This is how dirty the brake is. So it's supposed to be some silverish color like this. So what we gotta do is we gotta soak it for a while before we start brushing it off, because the dirt are pretty stubborn. So after an hour of soaking, and then this is how it looks like. This is how it's supposed to look. You can see it's shiny. And then now we gotta install it back. We also want to test out if the ABS is really working. So under your seat, there's this 4-pin plug, and then there's a dummy plug that is protecting it from short circuiting. So just remove this, and then you use a jumper wire to connect the blue wire and the black wire. So we just attach a very simple jumper cable, nothing complicated. So what we do now is to put your ignition to Q. So you need to hold your brake both front and rear while you turn on this and hold this for 4 seconds. Turn this on. Okay, you can feel the ABS pulsing. So it's working. Okay, so now we confirm that the ABS is working. Since we are sending it to the shop to get this fault done, we might as well do up the ABS line because it's a little bit spongy. So we will change the rubber hose to steel braided. So we came to Motor World to get our things fixed. The reason why we select here is because the items are all bought from here. So we are back from Motor World, and then they managed to break this open. I asked them how they do it. Basically, it's a trade secret, so I couldn't get any information of it, but they managed to do it. And then they also sort of like smoothen out the surface. And they told me all the preset and all the setup is already done to factory specs, but let us inspect. So everything looks pretty good. So by the way, the labor fee is $70. So I would say it's relatively affordable. So we went home as well and we received all the items has arrived. So now we got to apply them. We clean off with a rubbing alcohol. Okay, and then we gotta stick it now. We gotta install this tank pad so it doesn't scratch the tank any further, especially this part here. We also got ourselves some titanium screw, so to replace all this rusted screw. And titanium are less prone to rust, so hopefully it will last. So as you can see that the bolt is stripped because it's rusty, so it's fragile. The amazing part is when you want to unify the bolt, this is over top that you see the screwdriver actually broke off. Right, so now all the bolts are successfully replaced and rightfully torqued. So that's all for this video. See you on the next one. Bye bye.